Grand Captain Speedy Dash here. Last time on What If Cooler Adopted Kakarot, Cooler defeated the revived Frieza. How will Cooler's victory over Frieza affect future events? Find out now. During one training trip to Beerus' planet, Champa comes to see his brother Beerus. The latest argument between Beerus and Champa leads to the Tournament of Destroyers. Beerus tells Cooler that he needs Cooler to get together a team of 5 to represent his universe, and Cooler states that it will be done. After returning to Earth, Cooler questions who should be on the team and who should be left to protect the Earth. Salsa suggests leaving Earth to Cooler Armor's squadron and take the Sans and King Cold with him. King Cold agrees and states he has been training to keep up with everyone. Cooler agrees but states that he'll call the Joyce Force to assist in protecting the Earth, despite Salsa's objections. Time passes until the Tournament of Destroyers arrives. Cooler decides the order of fighters as Raditz, Nappa, King Cold, Kakarot, then himself last. Raditz and Batamo are the first 2 fighters for their universes. Batamo's ability does give Raditz some trouble, but Raditz is able to get around it and knock Batamo out of the ring. Frost enters the ring as the next fighter for Universe 6. Raditz forces Frost to go to his final form, with Raditz going Super Saiyan to keep an edge. Frost, being backed into a corner, resorts to cheating, which lets him knock Raditz out of the ring. Nappa enters the ring as the next fighter for Universe 7. Frost is quickly forced on the back foot against Super Saiyan Nappa, which makes Frost resort to cheating, which allows him to knock Nappa out of the ring. King Cold objects, stating that Frost is cheating. After an inspection, it is found that Frost was cheating, which disqualifies Frost and reinstates Nappa. Beerus quickly looks over Raditz and is able to get Raditz reinstated as well. Magetta enters the ring as the next fighter for Universe 6. Nappa does struggle a bit against Magetta until he yells an insult, which gets Magetta to run out of the ring crying. Kappa enters the ring as the next fighter for Universe 6. Nappa is quite easily beating Kappa, but gets curious why Kappa hasn't gone Super Saiyan. Kappa asks Nappa to teach him to go Super Saiyan, which seemingly enrages Nappa, with him beginning to threaten Kappa's home and family. This enrages Kappa and causes him to go Super Saiyan. Nappa reveals this was his plan and ensures Kappa can transform on command, before going Super Saiyan Blue and knocking Kappa out of the ring. Hit enters the ring as the next and final fighter for Universe 6. Nappa quickly goes Super Saiyan Blue but is on the back foot against Hit. However, Nappa is able to land a couple of blows through brute force before getting knocked out of the ring. Raditz enters the ring as the next fighter for Universe 7. Hit quickly overpowers Raditz, with Raditz failing to land a single blow on the more cautious Hit before Raditz gets knocked out of the ring. King Cold enters the ring as the next fighter for Universe 7. Cold quickly goes golden and has a slight edge over Hit, which forces Hit to evolve his technique. Hit is shortly able to overpower King Cold and knocks Cold out of the ring. Kakarot enters the ring as the next fighter for Universe 7. Hit is overwhelming Super Saiyan Blue Kakarot until Kakarot reveals that while training with Cooler that he unlocked a new form, going Blue Evolution. Kakarot in Blue Evolution has a slight edge over Hit, but Hit continues evolving his technique, allowing him to once again overwhelm Kakarot, with Hit knocking Kakarot out of the ring. Cooler enters the ring as the next and final fighter for Universe 7. Hit, nearing his limit, wants to quickly finish the fight, but Golden Cooler proves too much for Hit to beat, with Hit reaching his limit and getting knocked out of the ring. Zeno arrives because he was interested in the tournament. It isn't long before Zeno leaves, interested in holding his own tournament in the future. Meanwhile, one of Cooler's scouts for additional strong warriors find an old Frieza Force distress signal. Investigating it, they find a pair of Saiyans stranded on the planet. Chila and Lemmo have Paragus and Broly come with them to Earth to present Broly to Cooler. As Cooler and the others reach Earth, Chila and Lemmo also arrive. Cooler is interested in learning of two more Saiyans that escaped Planet Vegeta's destruction, and asks about Paragus and Broly's history. Paragus explains that King Vegeta was jealous that Broly's power was greater than Prince Vegeta, and banished Broly, with Paragus getting trapped during his rescue mission. Cooler states that Planet Vegeta was destroyed by his brother, with Prince Vegeta surviving, but both Frieza and Vegeta met their ends on Earth thanks to the Cooler Force. Paragus is surprised and begs Cooler to allow him and Broly to live on Earth. Cooler states that he'll allow them to live on Earth as long as Broly joins the Cooler Force. Paragus is nervous about it and explains that Broly has a hard time controlling his power, but he uses a shock collar to keep Broly in check. Cooler is even more interested and states he wants to test Broly's strength himself. After relocating to the gravity chamber, Cooler begins fighting with Broly. Broly starts completely outmatched, but shortly begins pushing back Cooler, forcing him to transform into his fifth form. Cooler's fifth form gives him an edge, but it's short-lived as Broly continues to adapt and shortly begins overpowering Cooler, forcing him to go Golden. Golden Cooler effortlessly beats Broly, but Broly begins to lose control, which intrigues Cooler as Broly's power rises. Broly in Wrathful begins mindlessly attacking Cooler, but Golden Cooler is still able to handle the mindless brute. After a bit, Cooler gets bored of the fight and moves in to knock out Broly, ending the fight. Paragus is worried waiting outside when Cooler comes out. Cooler explains that Broly does have great power, but he needs to learn how to control it, and tells Kakarot to start training Broly on controlling it. I'll end the part here for now. How will Broly's early arrival affect future events? Find out next time on What If Cooler Adopted Kakarot? If you enjoy my content, check out my Discord to see the community I'm building, and like the video and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any money to spare, maybe consider throwing a little of it my way. And as always, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are.